Hello everybody, Josh the RV Nerd with Bish's RV. Welcome down to Coachmen here in Middlebury today, getting a look at what's new for 2025. And this is my first Chaparral I've had a chance to go through with their all new decor here. It had kind of a very traditional Western kind of darker brown decor recently, and they've just updated this. They don't even have a name for the decor at this point. It's so new, but it feels light and fresh, and it's not exactly gray, it's not tan, it's not dead white, but it definitely is in that lighter color family. And it's the kind of decor that if you add any sort of, like, if you want to bring a colored rug or a couple blankets and pillows, man, it just really comes alive right here. And I love getting this floor plan from different builders all the time, because if you're trying to compare different RVs out there, it can be overwhelming. It's like, and every manufacturer tells you that theirs is the best, and every salesperson you talk to at every dealership says the RV that they sell is the best. But nearly every builder and their brother builds this layout right here. And the cool part about that is it allows you to remove the differences in the floor plan and focus on and isolate what makes the different brand. So like Chaparral here, let's start listing things off. They are changing over to GE profile air conditioners. So every single one of their air conditioners will actually have a heat pump built onto it. They're 0 to 110 degree rated, double Asdel in the sidewalls. They are moving away from their laminated flooring, going to an all aluminum floor structure with a 5/8 floor decking to eliminate the opportunity basically for soft spots. They have things like a good suspension package on these. You've got the little accessory hitch on the back, 200 watts of solar on the roof, and a bunch of other things. But it's also got some things that you might not like, and that's what I want to do. I want to focus on the things this RV does, either awesome or not, so that you can decide if it's kind of the right set of features for you, even if this isn't the floor plan you're looking at. This is the litmus test floor plan right here. And if you appreciate sharing the candid, transparent information, hit that subscribe button. Let's get in there. So I'd be curious to get kind of your first impressions on the new look of this thing right here. Actually, it's not exactly the same floor plan, but let me give you a look. So here's the new decor, and here's the old decor. I've got all the lights on in both of them. Just one's lighter and brighter, and one's brown and browner. Personally, I like this look a whole lot better, but that's just my opinion, man. You know, everyone... It's a very subjective kind of item here. I do like the change in that, like, you know, kitchen pseudo pendant light fixture thing. Oh, speaking of changes, as we go through this video today, currently they are outfitted with Furrion air conditioners. That won't be the case by the time this RV goes into production for the 2025 generation. They will have switched over to GE profile air conditioners. Now, there's some benefits to that. They're more energy efficient. Like, you can potentially run 2 of them on just 30 amp service. You won't run a whole lot of any, like, you're not going to also run the microwave, but you could do that. They also have heat pumps built into them. And then you combine that with the fact that this RV has like an electric fireplace, and you've got a very robust heating package available in this thing. Not to mention, like, you still have your propane furnace. You still have your, you know, tank heaters. Like, they give you a couple of very cool options and capacities here. This floor plan, I must have bumped this at some point, because currently, I guess what we're doing is we're using the kitchen faucet to fill up a bucket that maybe, I don't know, ladies, maybe your husband's got you cheesed off and he's laying over there in the recliner when he's supposed to be working, and you need to motivate him, say. Yeah, normally the faucet doesn't turn that direction. But on the back here, this is interesting. It's an 8-foot wide RV. They're not wide body, but they gave it a big 3-seater sofa. Now, that means that they have slimmer side stands, so they're not dinner plate sized. But do they need to be? Like, I can still set a drink or two down over there. You see the decorations on the right. You do have household and USB outlets on both sides. And this floor plan, if what you're looking for is maximum windows on the camping side of the RV, on the passenger side, if you will, the door side of the camper, whatever synonymous phrase I feel like coming up with, this is the floor plan right here, because it absolutely maximizes views over here instead of looking at the neighbor. Now, for some campsites or some people, that's not an issue. They don't care. There's some areas of the country where it's always screaming hot, so they just pull all the blinds anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But there's some folks that definitely want to look over that away and not that away right there. So there you go. By the way, it freaks some people out that my ends of my digits curl back. It's just a genetics thing. Some people's do that, some people's don't. Kind of like some people's earlobes really are pronounced and borderline looks like detached, and some people's are not. You don't care. Anyway, I do like this no knee knocker table. And if you notice down there against the sidewall, even though that's a laminated wall, they still put a power outlet over there against that sidewall, which is it's a very rare find. But that's a no knee knocker table. So if you only wanted a couple of those chairs, you could actually really open the space up. But doing the opposite of that, if we alakazam close those window shades right there, you might notice that you can absolutely privatize the living crap out of the sucker. You can really blot the sun out. Or at night, if you want some lights on inside the RV, you can see straight in through the windows. I bet we'll be able to demonstrate that later in the video here. What's your opinion on that theater seat? They are in talks with the supplier about potentially changing that up. And I can't offer any guarantees, and it might already be done by the time this video comes out. But if you had your choice, what would you want to see there? What features? What kind of, do you want an armrest? Do you not want an armrest? Like, what things do you want in that space? Leave me a note in the comment section. We can get it back to Chaparral, and who knows, maybe they'll have an opportunity to do something with it. Now, looking at the storage overhead there, this is all pocket screwed lumber core cabinetry, by the way. They put some decent storage over the sleeper sofa. I think that's secondary storage, but they didn't waste it. You know, they used all the little space they could. And with this being a 3-seat sofa, it means it's a wider sleeper sofa, but it's still a short bed. It's not like a residential 80-inch length. RV hide beds just aren't typically. So that's one of those things you're going to want to kind of keep in mind and consider there. You may notice as we work our way over to the kitchen. By the way, let's address this. It looks like you've got a disco light show going on in that fireplace. In person, you do not. It is not doing that. What you're seeing is just it's a result of the way the camera refreshes its capture rate, and that's all I'll say about it. But you can also turn the visual off. And we're using it in visual no heat mode right now, so it doesn't have to cook you. But you may have noticed it was a toast ever kitchen slide. You may notice too, the TV's very easy viewing. It's directly across from you. There's nothing in the way. If I shift over here, hold on. Let me lean over to the right-hand theater seat. You can see that if somebody's sitting in the kitchen, they're not in the way at the little Dynalind island situation thing that we have going on. Coachman's doing a lot of these, and it feels like these are starting to pick up some popularity in the RV industry. What's your take on this? Because we have normal dining. They put the sink over against the wall, or to the right-hand side, or not against the wall, but toward that front wall. Sorry, I'm getting tired. It's the end of the day. I can't speak. But it creates just this open area where you have dedicated counter space. Now, what's nice is you might have noticed the power outlets down there. So if you want to turn that into like griddle country or something, fantastic for those like pancakes, bacon, and eggs and sausage kind of mornings, you know. But it could also be a little bit of a makeshift desk space. Actually, that's what I've been doing all day in these RVs, is I've been using that as my kind of basically desk area. And it's been getting the job done. It's been doing pretty well. That is a, oh crap, what is that, 16? 17 cubic foot, something like that. Furrion 12-volt compressor fridge over there. And this is just pure counter space and storage with some easy reach power outlets. I also really like how they're being very good about giving us easy solutions for things like paper towel rolls, you know? Like, you don't think about it. If you go looking at most RVs don't have a place by default to put a roll of paper towels. I bet your kitchen does. I bet your kitchen has like something for paper towels. You need it every day, but most RVs don't actually solve for that problem. Speaking of solving for problems, I'm sorry, I'm eyeballing it. I think that converter box will remain accessible even when the slide out closes. So I'll close the slides up for road mode like I always do. We'll double check that, but moving on from there. What do we want to talk about? Well, one of the interesting things is you're going to see when we go through this kitchen that it actually has a dedicated space for waste baskets. But if we crack that open, you see that if you wanted to, there's some serious wide open storage under that sink too, whether you wanted bigger waste baskets or, I don't know, giant pots and pans or baking sheets or something like that. A lot of RVs don't include a spot for like cooking sheets, baking sheets, anything like that. So it's kind of nice when a manufacturer actually solves for those little things right there, you know. One of the things that it occurs to me I didn't properly demonstrate a few minutes ago is I didn't sit on that rear sofa and show you how that TV can pivot around. Now, I've got the TV pivoted over here like it was facing the dining table, and I had to do it real quick while I was talking about the kitchen. But when it's over this way, the pantry kind of blocks part of it. I don't know that that's really the swing arm's primary purpose, though. I think the swing arm's primary purpose is if you're sitting back here on the sofa, whether you're lounging or a guest, and then you pivot the TV around, and then you see that, if it's more than just two people sitting at the theater seat, this thing can actually provide some pretty decent entertainment kind of, capacities and whatnot. By the way, I don't know if you could see it. Let me get you over here. Let me open this pantry back up because you got this handy set of power outlets in there. What would you put in the appliance pantry prepped kind of compartment there? I don't know. I'm kind of curious what you might do with that, though. Now, we are in a full Chaparral. We're not in like the light series or whatever. So we're going to get things like solid surface kitchen counters. You'll still bump into some thermal foil elsewhere in the RV, but solid surface there. Moving upstairs, the bedroom and bathroom arrangement is very like safe. They didn't get adventurous here. They didn't do anything crazy or too far out of the norm here. Opening stuff up, giving you a look at some storage space that we have around here. Wide open under that bathroom sink, which is kind of nice, so that if you do have, what do I want to say, a wastebasket for the bathroom, a lot of manufacturers don't supply a place for that, so I'm kind of happy that they did. Now, when I slid the pocket door out of the way, well, frankly, even without the pocket door out of the way, I was not having elbow room problems in here whatsoever. And kind of like they gave us a spot for the paper towels in the kitchen, they gave us a dedicated roller there for the butt napkins, as it were. Now, you've got that lower pocket, and I'm about to give you a frame of reference here. So this is my Leatherman, to show it next to my hand for scale, because Americans will use anything except the metric system. Look at the right side of the screen. If we peek inside that linen storage right there, I put my Leatherman inside of it on the top shelf, and this is not wide angle footage. That is some serious towel space in there. Like, you can really pack a lot in there. I'm also going to give them some credit. Well, I mean, if we're going to be real about this, I think it does kind of look fairly Brinkley inspired, but the way that they've dressed up this bathroom wall, added some hooks to it, instead of just leaving that a dead blank space, I love that they did something with it. The upper deck height in this is, oh, hold on, I'm fighting off a sneeze right now, but I'm a little over 6'1", give or take, probably slightly taller with my shoes. I was still able to stand at that without my head in the skylight. If I was much taller, it would have been a little bit of a problem, but I was able to get in there. And by the way, this light right here, this can be a motion light. So if you want to slide in and out at night without having to like bang around on the wall finding switches, you can do that. Or you could just turn it off or on, whatever kind of preference you have. What do you think about the location of those outlets over there? What is it for? What would you use them for? I don't know. I guess that's what I'm kind of curious about right here. Now, if I slide into the bedroom, let me actually here. Let's this is going to sound wrong. Let's climb in bed together, shall we? If you lay down in bed, this is basically what you're looking at right there. And you see the TV hookups. But with the big window, I don't know that you're going to mount a TV on the wall. I think I talked about this in my last Chaparral video as well. You could stand a TV here, but if we flip the top of that open, it's going to be hard to kind of leave a TV there, because you're going to have to move it. So I'm not exactly sure what you do. Does it matter? Would you even care about a TV or TV hookups in this bedroom? Is it like an absolute non-issue? I don't know. Let me know. Now, up front, you've just got a big, wide open, 8-foot wide side-to-side closet. And you can see the washer-dryer hookups over there, by the way. You see just a slight reflection of my chicken nugget dad bod over there in the purely mirrored sliding doors. They are both just 100% mirrors, and it does help the space look and feel a little bit bigger. But when you're not really happy with your appearance, like yours truly, well, it's not exactly my favorite thing. By the way, above the bed, they have this little phone pocket shelf. And if I get you up there slowly so as to not make you motion sick, you see that you actually have some power outlets up in that space as well. But have you been noticing any area that you sit or obviously sleep, they give you just an easy reach switch for the light directly above you. Now, what's also kind of cool is both sides of the bed have their own switches, you know, and that way you can't exactly torture your partner. Anything like that. What do we got? Oh, we need to look at the space under the bed for storage, don't we? Well, let's pop that sucker open, give you a little bit of a look down there. You notice how it's not full depth storage. It doesn't go all the way to the floor. It's because it's actually a fully contained upper deck rack and pinion slide. That's actually a very classic feature that it seems like is slowly making its way back into the RV community. I'm kind of curious, what do you think about that concept right there? And while you answer that, or don't, either way, I want to take a chance to close everything up for road mode. Now, rack and pinion slides, historically, you should not occupy them while they're retracted, but you see the wheels under the end of that, I almost said the wheels under the bus. Oh, wow. That's that just reflexive old dad thing that kicks in. You know, all of a sudden my head's going, wheels on the bus. Anyway, I won't sing the whole song. I already sing enough in my videos and give people ear cancer from it. But theoretically, that would support the end of the bed. Here's the thing, though. Coachmen doesn't actually test or check to lay in that bed while the slide's retracted. So professionally, all I can recommend is stay out of it while it's retracted. That's the best suggestion I can give you. If you choose to do otherwise, it's completely up to you. Now, sometimes people ask when the slide's open, why do they do the two vertical doors instead of the freezer door on the bottom? And if you look where the island overlaps with that, that's why. Because if they did the freezer drawer in the bottom, basically most of the fridge would be lost. You'd be able to get to part of it, not all of it. So that's why sometimes manufacturers do the vertical doors instead of the horizontal. And if you appreciate things like the rack and pinion bed slide talks, the refrigerator talks, and showing you the slides closed, or any of that, hit that subscribe button and let's hop outside. So the weights and measures on the left side of the screen that are popping up right about now, those are the brochure weights and measures. The actual dry weight of the specific RV that we are looking at today came in at 9,974 pounds. I don't know if that's the same. I don't know if it's different, but hopefully that helps give you a real world estimation of the actual weights there. Thank you, by the way, for viewers. I used to always mention the actual dry weight of a unit as it was assembled in my videos, and somehow I got away from that. So thank you folks for throwing that suggestion back at me and being like, hey, that thing that you used to do was really handy, and we'd like it if you kept doing that. So as always, you folks drive this channel, you know. It is a generic fixed pin box. At this budget and price point, that's pretty normal. There are a few brands that may start to do a little bit of an enhanced pin box kind of situation, like a Kurt shock dampening pin box, for example, but not a lot of them. Now you might notice, hold on, I'm sorry, I'm moving you forward and back and forward and back. I'm gonna slow down so I don't make you motion sick. You might notice how the marker lights are lit up right now. That's how you do it. You take a fuse and you jump it across the top two plugs on your 7-way, and you know it's the top two because this is your orientator right there, and that will ignite your exterior marker lights. It does not hurt the RV. All you're doing is running 12-volt power, directly jumping it over to those lights. It doesn't hurt anything. It looks cool. At night, your neighbors may not appreciate it. So sometimes people like to do that at a campsite, but your neighbors may not like it. So, you know, sometimes I think some folks have the stance of, like a good neighbor, stay over there. But I try to be courteous of my next door neighbors. Notice again, you don't see any sort of cables. You don't see any sort of Schwinn-Tech things or anything like that. It's an internally contained rack and pinion slide system. It's very uncommon. It's actually how a lot of older fifth wheels used to build stuff. And it feels like it's slowly coming back, that what was old is new again. This floor plan really benefits from the fact that it is a single sewer hookup. And if I got down there on my knees, you wouldn't see much because it's enclosed. But I can tell you, it's also forced air heated. It also has holding tank heaters. They also have a radiant barrier that goes from the belly up the nose across the roof. And they do actually cold chamber and test these. They're tested from 0 to 110 degrees successfully, meaning comfortable cabin temperatures, and your pipes and water lines and stuff are not freezing up. They do that on all the Chaparrals. The only other brand I know of like for sure, that 0 to 110 tests stuff is Cougar, actually. But that's the thing. They actually give you a number that they check against. I despise the phrase 4 seasons because there are climates that this is still not suited for. It's not a house. It doesn't do the things that a house does. So there are some differences there. Now you might notice you've got a good size awning over here, but only one awning. It's fairly sized. Again, they don't put a second awning on the slide face of Chaparral. That is reserved for Chaparral's big brother, Brookstone. Best way I can describe Brookstone, if you're not familiar, is that it's a Chaparral plus. It does everything Chaparral does, and then it does more. Down here, you got your Westlake radials. You've also got, let me get you a little bit closer, sorry. You've got the MORryde, or no, not MORryde, it's that MORryde Blue, that Road Armor shock dampening suspension package. I actually really like the Road Armor. If you made me twist my arm, I don't know why I twist my own arm. I don't know why I phrased it like that. If you twisted my arm and said, on penalty of death, if you don't answer, would I prefer a MORryde or a Road Armor suspension treatment? I lean toward the Road Armor because it doesn't just dampen shocks, it also helps prevent and control them because it has the shock dampener both above and below the shackle, and that's a key little difference there. Now, you're kind of seeing in through the windows, but they are tinted. A lot of people don't realize when the RV has lights on the inside, you can still kind of see through the windows. So that at night, those blackout roller shades are just as useful as during the day. You do, by the way, have a gas grill quick connect. It's easy to miss, but it's actually back here. And you may notice under the back area there, that's also where you have a spare tire located. Now, if you don't like it there is an alternative. Because this RV has a rear receiver hitch. I can't call it a towing hitch because it doesn't have the safety chain hooks, it doesn't have the wiring harness, but it's a 300-pound vertical weight limit, hitch. You could get a tire carrier mount that you stick in there, or you could leave it, underneath. It's a little bit of whatever you want it to do. And once again, you do have a fully walkable roof. You do have your dual airs standard. Now, again, we're looking at Furions today. They are changing over to GE profiles, but you also have a 200-watt solar panel up there with a 30-amp controller. So once again, this floor plan is the floor plan that a ton of builders make. So I'm going to leave you a link to it on our website. You can see if we have one in stock and where it's at. It's also an easy way to check pricing and availability. But I will also leave you links to a bunch of other builders that make this layout, whether it's Eagle, Cougar, Arctic Wolf, like 100 other guys basically make this floor plan, and they all have really good, cool qualities, but they also all have some downsides. Now, sometimes the downside might just be that it's bigger, heavier, more expensive because it has other advantages too. That's the thing. They're all cool in different ways. So when you talk to all those other salespeople, remember when the video began and everyone says how theirs is the best? It's true. They're all the best in a different way. And I want to put the information out there to help you understand and navigate that. So before you spend your hard-earned money, you know what you're getting for your dollar. So if that's fair, if you like that, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.